Hi guys, and welcome to the lounge. I thought I would do a bit of a chit chat video today because a lot has been going on, as we know, and the whole world has turned upside down. So I thought I would bring you guys on the couch and just have a little bit of a chat about what's going on in my life, what's happening with me, and yeah. Now, to start off, I will say I'm ready with my vitamin juice. Vitamin tablet. You saw I put a tablet in this, so I'm taking for about 2 weeks now. Before this whole thing went really serious, I started taking an immunity boost, so sort of like a tablet like this. Don't know if you can see it. Basically, it's one of those tablets that you put in water, and this one's vitamin C, zinc, echinacea, herbs and minerals. So basically, I just make sure I take a vitamin C and an echinacea tablet, and I've got more coming in the mail, but this is sort of like the last pack that I've got. The first thing I should tell you guys is that I'm still open in my business. I'm still working, I'm still designing dresses. I'm just not taking any face-to-face appointments. So what that means is if you wanted to book in for a consult, instead of coming into the studio physically and us talking about your dress and having a look at fabrics, we're doing it all online. And I'm doing that through Zoom or Skype. Most of the time it's Zoom. And basically I take people into my studio. We have a look at some fabrics, you know, virtually. I hold up a couple of options that I think will work with their design. We go through the design and actually sketch it up. And so we can pretty much do just about everything apart from taking your measurements. Obviously I need to physically be there to take your measurements, but there are things that we can do where we don't have to do that. I.e. I can always order a standard size. So if you're normally a size 10 or a size 12, then I would normally order your dress in that size, and then we can just tweak it at the alteration stage, which will be much later on down the track. And hopefully all this will blow over by then. I have always worked from home, so this kind of self-isolation that I'm doing at the moment, it's kind of like my normal week, but I just minimize the amount of going out that I do, and obviously not taking clients one-on-one. So, wow. The world is really in a state at the moment. I never thought I would be around to see the world like this. And, you know, when you see things happen in another country, you know, when it started off in China, I didn't even think it would come over. And I'm one of these people that I don't panic, but I think the worst, you know, straight away. Oh my God, I've got a headache. I must have, you know, a brain tumor, and let's go get myself scanned. The fact that I didn't do that this time was really strange, because it did come over. It did come over to Australia, and it is spreading, and I think people are not taking it seriously enough. By the time this video is out, I think that it would be a lot more serious. But just note that when I'm filming this, we are yet to be in lockdown. I've been self-isolating for a week now, and I've been minimizing how much I go out for the past couple of weeks, but seriously self-isolating in the past week. And when no one else is really doing that, the rules came out that there was supposed to be social distancing, and there was supposed to be like a 4 square meter radius sort of around each person. I was, you know, when the minimal times that I've had to go out, I've seen nobody do social distancing. People are still having catch-ups and coffees at the local coffee shop. I'm just absolutely shocked that people are not taking this as seriously as they should. You know, people are dying, guys. Like, this disease kills people, and if you're not careful, you could get it. From what I read, most people are going to get it, but not a lot of people are going to show symptoms. And that's great, but it doesn't make you invincible, and it also doesn't stop you being a carrier and passing it on to someone who is quite vulnerable with their immune system. I think we've got to stop being a bit selfish and start thinking about others. So that's why I've been self-isolating. I don't have any symptoms or anything like that, but I don't have a great immune system either. I'm really lucky that I can work from home, and that I'm in a beautiful apartment with a beautiful view, and I've got pretty much everything that I need in this small apartment. There's really no complaints. I feel really lucky that I can do that. Nothing really changes for me. I still work in my office. I still get up at the same time, but my mindset has changed. And what I mean by that is that now is a better time than any to really start on those projects that you've been putting off for so many years. Hobbies that you love, you know, resurrect those hobbies. I have always loved having some sewing projects and doing some sewing, so I've got out my sewing machine. I have started a long list of things that I want to do, and one of the first things is organizing my house. So I know that most of you will be in the same boat, but I can finally tidy up those shelves that I've wanted to tidy up my pantry, you know, label all the things that I wanted to label, pull out all my clothes in my wardrobe and reorganize and reshift and move things around, and just pretty much give it that spring clean that I never ever get a chance to give it, which I've been doing over the past week, and it has made me so happy. Like, I, you know, have this mega list, so I'm never going to run out of stuff to do. Even when I finish tidying the house and, you know, giving it that organization that I really want, I can move on to my sewing projects, and then after that I've got some music projects that I want to do. So there's so many things, and I would really advise you guys, if you in this position that you have to stay at home and you can't do anything, or you can't go out, or you can't work, well, you know what? There's so many other things that can be done. Do all those things that you absolutely love. On another note, because this stuff is really serious, and I know that some people are freaking out a little bit, so on the opposite end of the people that aren't caring, there are also the people out there that are freaking out. And I will say that if you're doing that, I will advise you to stay calm. I would advise you to put some really lovely things in your life, like start a bit of a beauty routine, start a self-care day, lounge around in the spa with champagne at 5 o'clock, watch the full series of whatever it is that you absolutely love. You know, do things to get your mind off it, to keep you busy, but also to look after yourself. One of the big things that I think is really important is making sure you're healthy, making sure you're eating well, making sure you're exercising. You know, there are so many things that you can do online, on YouTube, that you can do in your own house. There are, you know, dance classes, there are yoga classes, there are so many things. I'm lucky because I also have a treadmill at home, which is how I like to prefer to exercise, and that's purely because, I mean, I love going out and going for a walk, but I don't have the greatest of knees. I need to do a lot of training with my knees, and I'm in a very hilly part of Canberra, so there are a lot of hills where I am, and they pretty much destroy my knees. I have to take it really easy. So a way for me to get a good workout and a fast walk in, I do it on my treadmill. And then on the occasion when I actually want to go outside and have a nice walk around, then I would go out and do that in addition to what I normally do on my treadmill. Pick whatever your fancy is. You know, if you like Zumba, or if you like yoga, or if you like, you know, some sort of boxing video, that you can find whatever you need to on YouTube. So there is no excuse, but making sure you're healthy, making sure you're feeding your brain with some nice exercise every single day, making sure you're eating right and not overeating, and making sure you're getting as much nutrition as possible before everything kind of closes. Now, even if everything closes, the supermarkets are still going to be open, so you can still grab all those essentials. When I've had to go out, in the few times that I have had to go to the supermarket or to go to the post office, I do wear a mask, and I have ordered another mask because I just feel like this mask doesn't completely seal around the outside, and I'm a little bit paranoid. So this is the mask that I have been wearing. It's like a doctor's mask. It's an N95 grade mask. So it stops pollution and smog and colds and stuff like that. Apparently that's sort of what doctors use. So it's got the little valve there as well. So it sort of just goes like this. It's got a valve and a filter, sorry, and it's got wire here that you can sort of pinch around your nose. Now, I have been wearing this, but I have ordered some different ones that will be coming soon, so I'll insert a photo of those. I just find that because they're fabric, they're going to sit a lot closer to your face and really kind of hold the mask on your face without any gaps. I just think those ones that are made of those tissuey type fabrics to not kind of sit great. So I have ordered masks for my whole family, so it's not just for me. So for my son as well, for the times that, you know, if we wanted to go to the park and there's one other person there, just so that we can be a little bit safe. And it's not just about us being safe for us, but being safe for others as well, and not passing it or carrying it, you know, to someone that has a vulnerable immune system. I've been doing, over the past couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of buying online. I have been buying through Kmart, through Officeworks, and anywhere I possibly can, because that's, I think, the way the world is going to end up in a couple of weeks. I'm kind of getting a head start and making sure I've got all those systems in place so that I understand how all those kind of deliveries work. I'm yet to order delivery through the supermarket. I have tried, and with Coles, they only have like 300 items on their online shop, so it's not really built for this sort of thing, I don't think. And Woolworths have pretty much stopped their deliveries at the moment because they're prioritizing delivering to vulnerable people, you know, elderly and that sort of thing, which I can totally understand. So the rest of us kind of have to go into the supermarket. So if you do need to go in, make sure you're protected. Not only do you have to have a mask, but make sure you get some gloves. I've just got these gloves. They're just like my hair dyeing gloves. I just bought a pack of disposable gloves a really long time ago. And just remember that this disease can be caught by touching the disease on your hands and then touching your face. So your hands are the carrier for this disease. So if you're wearing gloves, it just stops that transmission. So yeah, I've been starting to do that, particularly if you're going to the supermarket and you're touching vegetables that are all sort of open, even packets of pasta or whatever it is, you know, you're touching it. If someone else is touching it too, or if they've moved it around, and you know, you could catch it. So I don't want to make you guys overly paranoid, but I mean, this is reality, right? This is the way of the world. So make sure you have some gloves as well. If you don't have gloves, just make sure you wash your hands really well, or you have hand sanitizer if you bought it prior to it all selling out. I've only got one little kind of travel one in my bag of hand sanitizer, but wherever possible I will wash my hands for 20 seconds, remember that. So guys, this has not kept me down at all, but I think the reason I wanted to do this video was because I know that it's going to be a really hard time for a lot of you, and I don't want it to get you down. You know, it doesn't have to get you down. Just get in that routine, get onto those projects that you've always been wanting to do. Make sure you're doing some fun, passionate things that you love. If it's scrapbooking, if it's dancing, if it's cooking, you know, imagine how much beautiful things you could cook if you had a week to yourself or 2 weeks to yourself. Get on top of that, write your list, you know, what means a lot to you. For me, I'm going to start on, I've already started my self-care days, so making sure I'm looking after my body, my mind, with some nutritious food, and also with some really good pampering things like eye masks and face masks and beautiful creams, and making sure that you get up in the morning and you have a shower and you get ready as though you're going to work. You know, I've put on a full face of makeup today. Normally I don't put a full face on anyway on normal days, but today I was like, you know what, this is going to be a special day. I'm going to put foundation on today, and that's what I did. I mixed two together to sort of get the right shade. I'll be doing some other things throughout this journey, so I will be cutting my own hair at home, so I will show you how I do that, and I will also be doing my highlights. So one thing about me that you may not know is that I do my own hair. I color my own hair and I cut my own hair most of the time. Whenever I'm doing a style cut or anything like that, I do get a professional to do that, but if I'm just keeping maintenance, you know, just maintaining the cut or the style and Not really doing anything too drastic. I kind of do that myself. My highlights though, I never get a professional to do that. I have in the past and it's always been a disaster. I always just do it myself, and I've got all the stuff at home. So I'll be doing that as well. So I'll bring you guys along to see if you would like to do some highlights at home. I will say that I have many steps in doing my hair, but highlights is just one of them. I will explain that when I create that video for you guys. Well, so I hope the next 2 weeks or the lockdown period that you guys have is going to be enjoyable. Just keep it fun, just be safe, stay indoors. If you have to go out, be really careful. I think from what I've heard, we are just about to go into lockdown. And that means no one is leaving the house. So make sure you're stocked up for 2 weeks. Make sure you are ready for everything. Make sure if you've got prescriptions that you're updating your prescriptions at the chemist, you know, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully it's not too late by the time you actually watch this video. But I've heard we're going to be in lockdown. I don't know for how long for. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm more worried about, you know, catching it from someone. So I'm being ultra safe and ultra careful. But everyone should be self-isolating to minimize that curve and stopping the spread, basically, because you just never know. You never know how it's going to mutate, how it's going to change. You never know how many it's going to affect at the end of the day. So guys, I hope you guys stay safe and tune in to my other videos of me self-isolating. Okay, see you next time guys. Bye.